So Earth Day is a day that we celebrate our planet and focus on how we can do better to protect it, right? I want to share with everyone joining us this morning this lovely quote from Lauren Isley that says, "If there is magic on the planet, it is contained in water." But let's bring it to the local level, the Arizona level. And my goodness, we live in a state where we have one of the seven natural wonders of the world, and it is created by water. You the ribbon of the Colorado River there at the bottom of the photo. And our state is made up of these dramatic mountain areas and rocky hillsides that serve as watersheds. These are, land areas that channel rainfall and snow melt to creeks and streams. And then it rains. Just you better watch out because it's a force in nature, and this is what we see in these amazing events. But we also have treasures like the peaceful waters of the Granite Dells and that's in Prescott, and then Woods Canyon Lake that you find up near Payson. And of course, we desert dwellers even celebrate clouds, a brief rain, puddles, especially heart-shaped ones. How amazing is this picture? There are many other water places, and I hope that you, like me, have developed a very strong and caring relationship to our Arizona water. But every story has an adversary. So, who or what is our antagonist for our Arizona water story? Right now, it's drought. And limited precipitation and extended cycles of drought have put stress on an already over-allocated Colorado River. From weather records, we know that these long cycles of droughts are normal for the Southwest. Did you know that we're even in the midst of one of those cycles and that Arizona has been under a statewide drought emergency declaration since June of 1999? So that's over 20 years. What we don't know is if climate change will make the current drought impacts more severe, like the record heat we had last year. We also know if those conditions lead to fires, that it can threaten the quality of our water in our watersheds. In fact, that is why SRP, who's one of our sponsors for today's event, has created a healthy forest initiative to help revitalize the forests. Um, be sure to visit this link to learn more about drought. It has much more detail than I'm able to provide today. And while I'm not trying to diminish the seriousness of it, I will mention these points. This is not catching anyone off guard, that Arizona has prepared for the possibility of a shortage in the Colorado, and has been working with regional authorities and federal agencies, even signing the drought contingency plan with other lower basin states back in 2018. The Colorado River water provides less than half our collective supply, and Arizona has multiple water sources, such as from Salt River Project, also underground water storage. And we've invested in water efficiencies in our infrastructure with conservation programs and other ways. Um, and if shortage is declared in 2022, there is no immediate impact to our municipal water supplies. They will not be reduced in an early shortage. And each city has a plan to address deeper shortages that could impact supplies. But, however, to me, the real point to make here is that drought or not, that conserving water has to be a part of our daily life. And using water wisely increases our resiliency. And when everyone does their part, it does make a difference. And that's why, we want to help spread easy and practical ways to save water with our campaign, Water Use It Wisely. I want to just tell you briefly a little bit about who we are, the information we provide, and why we love partnering with LFA. The campaign started with just a handful of valley cities in 1999. We knew right away that by acting regionally, we would be able to amplify and share consistent messaging. Um, and we currently have 19 partners. The mission of the campaign is to keep water conservation in the forefront of people's minds. The point of the fish here and on the slide is that, we all take water for granted. And it's so easy for us to turn the tap on and get water. And we forget how precious it is. And Water Use It Wisely's goal is to remind you how important our water is and about those easy ways to save it. When we were developing the campaign, the common theme that emerged from public surveys we were doing was, don't tell us to save water, show us how. And this has become the central message of the campaign concept that we developed. We created 100 tips featuring everyday water saving devices. Now, these aren't your typical water saving device like a low flow shower head or a high efficiency toilet. For example, we have water saving device number 35, a razor. Plug the sink instead of running the water to rinse your razor and save up to 300 gallons a month. Or a leaf, water saving device number 71. Allow leaf litter to accumulate on the soil, and this keeps the soil cooler and reduces evaporation. And so then we have many other tips that also are on the site. And we also defined that the number one device is you, because being responsible for water is really up to all of us. So our headline of the campaign reads, there are a number of ways to save water, and they all start with you. Water, use it wisely. As you do with advertising campaigns, we've done a lot of traditional media over the years, like print and TV and radio, but you'll of course find us on social media channels. Please follow us. And we may be appealing to those that are concerned about the environment, or just appealing to those who want to save money or have easier maintenance. And sometimes we're just directing you to more information. So speaking of information and information we provide, besides our outreach, we have our Water Use It Wisely site, wateruseitwisely.com. And it includes our 100 plus tips for both indoor and outdoor water savings. We publish about 3 blogs uh, each month on seasonal topics, and those are sent out in our monthly newsletter. You can sign up on our homepage. And by the way, just in case, we are currently going through a rebranding process. So if you visit the site in the near future, you might be seeing just a slightly different look than what I'm showing you today. We do focus on outdoor watering due to the fact that so much water is used outdoors. Plus, we know that landscapes are often watered 2 to 3 times more than is needed. And that's what led us to create Water Plant It Wisely, a seasonal microsite for spring and fall planting that directs users to our great landscape resources like our landscape watering guide, our plant of the month, and DIY landscape videos and more. Last spring, we launched the site right before the pandemic. We quickly contacted local nurseries and listed those that offered curbside and delivery. Our site's also extremely popular with kids. That includes games, lesson plans, even resources, great resources for teachers. So any of you businesses that are out there that include youth or childcare, please take note and visit that site. But there's always a but. We eventually realized we were lacking in reaching a specific sector. We do have a nice list of business tips on our site, but we just didn't feel like we were connecting. And a partner from Scottsdale suggested we reach out to LFA, and we sat down with Helene Tack, and we were really impressed with the organization. And in 2016, we joined LFA as a sustaining member. And consequently, we have loved working with LFA. It just made sense for us to become part of this local movement. It's a movement whose pledge is to build a better Arizona. And we are, after all, a local water conservation campaign. So we felt like we fit in real well. Uh, we also greatly appreciate the focus that LFA has towards sustainability initiatives, where they're working towards environmentally sustainable future for Arizona, not only by helping businesses, but by, of course, empowering citizens to play a role. And these last few years have provided us with greater opportunities to share water conservation in unique ways, like we've provided webinars to LFA business members. Here we are doing an audit. And by the way, this is Damian Cox, one of your members with Eco Blue, and Wayne Drop, who is our Water Use It Wisely mascot. That's Wayne Drop, not Raindrop. And this is doing an audit both at the community kitchen and at Work Takeaway in Mesa. In 2018, there was a Cruise the Canals tour that was an opportunity to have SRP talk about their canal system. We talked about conservation, watershed management group, joined in to talk about water harvesting. And the whole tour ended at Oso Brewery, who talked about growing water conserving malt in the Verde Valley. I mean, this is how you can make water conservation a relevant and personal topic that community members can embrace when it impacts their beer, right? Finally, being a part of LFA Arizona Fall Fest was a wonderful way to interact with other localists at a community level, and they get thousands that attend this event. And we're looking forward to doing this again. Excuse me. In closing, I'm kind of repeating a lot of what Mike said. It's my opinion every day should be Earth Day, first of all. But my hope is that on days like today, we can recognize that the environmental issues we face are so big and the outcomes are so important that collaborating is more critical than ever. And finding inspiration from others is an incredible way to get motivated.